Hey, do you like chickens? How about chicken pot pie? How about chicken nuggets?
Chicken train, running all day. Chicken train, running all day. Chicken train, running all day. Can't get on, can't get off. Chicken train, take the chickens away.
Hey, birds. All right, so it is, what is today? Day number 65. Wyoming James checking in. Day number 65 from the Urban Micro Farm. Poking our head in on our little brooder friends. Hey, little brooder friends. So here's what we have to do real quick. It is butcher day. It is about 20 minutes to 6, and we have a lot to do before we get out on the pasture and actually start doing the butchering. So I got to get these birds fed. I got to get them watered. We got to get all that stuff that you saw in the pickup hauled out there so that we can begin this butchering process. So let's get that done. We'll check in with you shortly. Stand by. All right, so we have made it out to the pasture, and we are, I think, about 99% set up here. So we've got everything. And by the way, it's a beautiful morning. There is no wind whatsoever. It's a little bit overcast, a little bit muggy, but we're okay. So muggy and buggy. That's right. She said, "Did you say buggy with a B?" And yes, it is a lot buggy. There are gnats out here. There's a lot of them. So they're going to come out of that tractor. They're going to come over here. I think I did this a little bit backwards, but I was trying to keep the generator out of the deep brush because I didn't want to start a fire. So they're going to go over here to the restraint cones. They'll get bled out here. They'll go into the scalder, which should be up to temperature right about now. You can see a little steam coming off of it. We're about right there. They'll go into the plucker, and then they will come over here to these tables, and they will get the legs and the necks, or legs and the heads, removed. Then they'll go over to this table where they will become eviscerated. Mandy's going to remove the entrails from them. And then from there, they're going to go into this bucket of ice here to cool them down and kind of rinse them off, preliminary rinse. Out of there, they're going to go into the coolers and be covered and filled with ice. So, Dr. Mandy has her operating apron on. Dr. Mason has his butchering knife on.
Hey, shout out to Jameson.
Big shout out to Jameson. We gave him one last night, but we're going to go ahead and give him another one. So big shout out to him.
We still have all of our good knives.
Our man Nuke, Uncle Nick, he's provided those heavy butchering knives too. So that was the very first year he did that. So those he made with his own hands.
My absolute favorite knives to cut chicken.
Agreed. Absolute favorite knives. So over here we have our mouth breathers. We got Aunt Carrie Hawthorne. She's joined us for the 3rd year in a row. Grandma Marianne is, what, about 2.5 years? And Grandma Dana, this is her 3rd year in a row. She is a veteran chicken butcher. So, yeah, she's become a foreman. Grandma Dana has become a foreman at this.
So when do we get find out if we get overtime?
Overtime pay comes later, I think, a lot later. So, okay, so all right, so we're getting ready to do this. So we're going to go ahead and make our first cuts, and we'll get this party started. So we've got a lot of chickens to butcher, and we've only got whatever daylight hours we have to do it. So let's get this going. Okay, so here's what we got going. This will be the first time we've ever done this. We're going to grab this bird right here, bird number 1, and we are going to weigh live weight, and then we're going to weigh butchered weight and see what the difference is on just this bird. So go ahead and throw them in there, Mandy, if you can.
Trying. Stop. He's so big. I can't hold him to
Okay. Okay. Hang on just a second.
Oh, baby, you're okay.
8 pounds, 4 ounces. 8 pounds, 4 ounces.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right. So now we're gonna take this chicken through butchering, and then we'll throw it on the scale again after Mandy gets done chicken wrestling. Okay. You can go ahead and put him in the restraint cone if you want.
Gonna.
Okay.
James, where's the wash bucket? What's your wash bucket?
What are these for?
What are these for, James? Oh, no. Oh, I don't want to watch.
Dude, they're too big. We're gonna have to cut the cone.
Okay, same bird, completely processed. And it is coming in at 6 pounds, 5 ounces. What did we lose? 2 pounds, roughly? It was 8 something. So we'll look back on that, but 6 pounds, 5 ounces is the finished weight on that bird, and that's how that one's gonna go into the freezer. So from whatever it was, 8 point whatever to 6.5, we'll figure out what that is in weight. So we're gonna keep on rolling here. Okay, so we are we had a little bit of a break there after we finished this track. As we were finishing this track, this one's now empty. Those were the biggest birds. It's now empty, but we ran into a little bit of a mechanical breakdown in that this hose right here, this hose that connects the tank to the burner, developed a leak, and it was just blowing. It was blowing propane out the hose. So I don't know how much propane we lost, but we've got another tank, so we should be good there. So we ended up driving all over town to try to get that replaced. Ended up going to Hose and Rubber Supply, wherein they crimped new ends on it, put a new hose on it, and we are good to go. So we're back up and running. We're just waiting for the water to heat up to a point to where we can start scalding birds again, and we're good to go. But we're about halfway through today. Right now we've got, as you can see, Mason's over there hauling birds so he can bleed them out so that we can get going again. So we're going to start rocking and rolling. We got the grandmas, Mandy, all over there dressing birds. We've got Carrie helping out with that. So we're rocking and rolling, but things are going pretty well here. So we got Mason the chicken wrangler putting them into the restraint cones and then bleeding them out. So does he?
Good work.
Did I put any in any other?
Okay, so we are done. We've got 2 empty tractors, that one behind Aunt Carrie, this one here. That is 94 birds. 94 birds slaughtered, defeathered, and dressed. So we're going to head back to the kitchen now so that we can finish washing these birds, get them totally cleaned out with clean water, and we're going to get them shrink wrapped and we'll get them in the freezer. And then the finished product will be coming to you guys real soon. So this is 94 birds worth of feathers right here. That and what's left in the plucker. It looks like we got her just in time to. It is cooling down, but the storm's moving in here. I think we're gonna get some more moisture, which is fine. Great timing. Glad to be done. Honestly, there is no way we could have done it without this crew right here that you're looking at. We got Mason over there on the far left. He did all the bleeding out of the birds. He did a lot of running for us, filling up water buckets, dumping out the entrail buckets. He did quite a bit. Grandma Marianne and Grandma Dana. I know I use their names collectively, but they're kind of joined at the hip. Where one goes, they both go. And so they ran ice. I think they made 2 different trips to go get ice. Carrie ran and got an extra cooler. She was a huge help packing these birds with ice, getting them in the coolers, arranging the coolers. Again, we couldn't have done it without all their help. And I gotta give a great big shout out to Miss Powder River Mandarin. That girl just sat there and field dressed. I say field dressed. I guess that's 100 coming out of me. She dressed 94 birds just that quick, just as quick as we could keep them plucked and to her. She was good to go. So that's it. We are going to load up these coolers. We're going to spray down this plucker. We're going to empty out the scalder, and I think I'm going to throw the generator inside of one of the coops for safekeeping. It's out of sight, out of mind. I think we'll probably pull down that tent. I'm thinking we will. I'm thinking we'll just pull the top off that tent, and then we'll throw it back up tomorrow morning, because I'd hate for that tent to end up in like Glen Rock or something. So, but that's it. Okay, so we will check back in with you in a little bit from the kitchen. So stay with us.
Chicken train running